We're now streaming on all the platforms.
You are now live, Instagrammers, Facebookers, social media, people around the world. Hope you're watching live here on Friday. We're done the 9 steps to improving your relationships. We are complete. We are done. Now we're just going to recap it. We have a bonus step for you to talk about this, putting this all together. We are ready to go. We're ready to flow. We are ready to glow. Let's do this.
All righty.
All right.
Final bonus episode starting in 3, 2, 1.
Leaders and healers from around the globe, from around the universe, welcome to the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Cheam, welcoming you now live on Friday, almost 2 o'clock, 1:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Burlington, Ontario. And my buddy Cam, friend, Cheam, part of the Cheam team in Chatham right now, live to you on the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. I'm your host, speaker, author, life coach, love bug, trainer, athlete. Just wanted to give myself to the world and share the best of what I've learned so far in my 39 years, almost 40 years now of being on this planet. Thank you again. This is a show where we help you claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest, highest, and widest passion. So ultimately, you can show up as the best version of yourself, continue to sharpen the better version of yourself, so you can help others and inspire others to give them permission to be the best and better version of themselves on a consistent basis. Here, we are to do this. We're ready to cap off this program of 9 steps to improve your relationships. I am really stoked, sort of happy and sad at the same time. It's like reading a phenomenal book, and then you're about to reach the end because you're like really captivated how it's going to end, but then all of a sudden you're finished, like, oh, and you're finished. Then you end up reading it again over and over. This final step, step 10, and we're going to give you a bonus step and recap the 9 steps to improving and enhancing your relationships. So thank you for joining us again. Cam, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well. You cut out for a bit there, my bad. But it's fine. Okay. We're good. I'm really excited for this bonus step because a lot of people don't love themselves. And I mean, like, it's weird how anytime I see someone upset and I ask them, do you love yourself? They always say no. Nobody who is like truly happy and fulfilled can say, I don't love myself. It's a very, very important thing. So I'm excited to recap all the steps. If you have not gone back and listened to them, I honestly urge you to do so, because those 9 steps, that could have been a $10,000 program online course. Like, it was insanely, insanely valuable. So go back and get that value, all 9 steps. So did you want to recap the 9 steps and then talk about the bonus?
Sure. Yeah, just to recap the 9 steps, the very first step is to know thyself. Self-awareness is always the first step. Being aware of your subtle desires, your subtle strengths and weaknesses, the healthy parts of you, the unhealthy parts of you, the light and the darkness. That's so elemental and so important in growing and to the next level of your evolution. So knowing thyself is the first step. Step number 2 is the love languages, as we talked about. And then step 3, personality types. Love languages and personality types. If you just study those 2 and started to know yourself, what your personality type is, where your strengths and weaknesses are within those personality types, what your strengths and weaknesses are in your love languages, and then study other personality types, the people around you, their love languages. I promise you, man, it's like you've been given this sixth sense to understand yourself and other people at greater depths and be able to impact and influence other people at greater levels. I mean, let's face it. At the end of the day, when it comes to making an impact on the world, when it comes to being fulfilled and happy on a consistent basis, it's all about what Wayne Dyer says. It's not, your life won't be measured by your duration, but by your donations, by your contribution and what you give to the world. So those first 3 are so elemental, which is why we started with know thyself. Step 2, love language. Step 3, personality types. And then we get into the step 4, which is emotional mastery, how to channel all the fuel for all action, which is your emotions, and how to control those emotions in certain cases, and how to leverage some of those emotions, to understand them, to be more flexible through your emotional turmoil, and to use your greatest strengths, your ability to be courageous, your ability to be loving, your ability to be compassionate. And then we moved on to step 5, which is masculine and feminine energies, like love languages and personality types. Understanding masculine and feminine energy is so important especially for intimate relationships. Also to understand your boss, your coworkers, your son, your daughter, your sister, your brother. Understanding those elements are so important. There's one typology that I really highly recommend you study as well. Understanding your own strengths within your own masculine self or your own feminine self, whichever one is more of your core, your essence. And then we got into step 6, which is your power words, the language you use to communicate with the world. I remember hearing one guy say, when you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. So expand your vocabulary, expand the words you use to describe your emotions, to describe life, to describe your relationships, to communicate your feelings, to communicate and express who you are. And I promise your ability to influence, impact people's lives will be enhanced. And then we got into step number 7, your rule book for life. What does it take for you to feel like you're successful? What does it take for you to feel like you are happy? What does it take for you to feel like you're being a good husband, a good wife, a good father, a good mother, a good employee, employer, whatever it might be? And we reviewed that as well in that episode. And then we got into step 8, which is to seek to first understand and then to be understood, which is so vital in building great relationships, because most people are looking to get others to understand them, not to switch it around and understand other people first. And then the 9th step, which is constant and never-ending improvement, constant growth, constant commitment and discipline towards bettering yourself, sharpening of your skills, your abilities, your gifts, your talents, your strengths, all these things all culminating to one, converging into one sort of centered you, that is you, as you upgrade yourself to the you 2.0, you 2.1, whatever it might be as you grow. I mean, let's face it, technology is going to continue getting better and faster and more precise. And so we do that. We understand that with computers. We understand that with phones. We understand that with technology, but we don't necessarily understand with ourselves. We can upgrade our brain. We can upgrade our body. We can upgrade our spirit. We can upgrade every aspect and ability and skill of our life. And then we get into, step number 10, which is a bonus session, which is at the end of the day, step number 1 is to know thyself. Step number 10, if there was a bonus one I would like to share with you, it would be to love thyself. Know thyself, be thyself, and then love thyself. And that is such an important step towards evolution, because let's face it, you can't give to someone something that you do not have first. You can't give $20 to someone if you only got $5 in your pocket. I remember there was a study that was kind of studying the difference between self-compassion and self-esteem, and which one was the better quality or characteristic to embody. And what they discovered was self-compassion is like your best friend. Well, so where self-esteem is like, your self-esteem is going well when things are going well, but when things aren't going so well, guess what? Your self-esteem tends to drop. But self-compassion is like your best friend, your best buddy, your cheerleader when things are going well, but when things aren't going well, your best friend's not beating you up. Your best friend's saying, hey, it's okay. There's going to be tough times. It's okay. You're human. There's going to be waves, and they're going to talk you through it and be compassionate towards you. So developing that self-love, developing that compassion towards yourself is so elemental. It's just a big, strong component to growth, because let's face it, if you don't love yourself, how can you possibly give the greatest and grandest levels of love to other people? And that is part of the process as well. So we're here to talk about that, and we're here to expand on that. And let me tell you something. When it comes to loving, how to love yourself, well, using me as an example, I get up, between 3:30, 3:15, 3:45 every morning, Monday to Friday. And people go, my God, how's that loving yourself? Well, what I do is I spend about 90 minutes to 120 minutes, so 90 minutes to 2 hours, spending time depositing into my own bank account, whether it be a spiritual bank account, my physical bank account, my emotional bank account, my nutritional bank account, whether it be drinking lots of water, taking a supplement to cleanse my body, whether it be using affirmations, incantations, doing deep prayer, meditation, stretching, yoga, all these things that are going to enhance my ability to serve people at greater levels, to be the best husband, to be the best father, to be the best brother, to be the best son, to be the best whatever role I'm playing that day at the highest possible power, and turn on every aspect, every fiber of my being to serve with greater depths. So that's what loving myself is. You take the time to insert and install the updates, if your computer gets an update, you wouldn't hesitate to press yes to certain updates to make your computer faster, to make your computer more efficient, more effective, and to work better. So why the heck would you pause your own update, your own upgrade every single morning to make those updates every single morning before you go to sleep? So one of the things you can do to charge yourself, one of the how-tos and how to love yourself, and this goes back to rituals that we did on one podcast a long time ago, is come up with some sort of morning ritual. Call it loving yourself ritual, whatever it might be, or filling up your own bank account of love, whatever it might be, whatever you want to call it your own ritual of power, your own ritual of enhancement, your own ritual of self-realization, whatever you want to call it, to enhance your spirit, to enhance your emotional strength, to show up show up with greater power, to greater focus, greater attention, greater courage, so that when the first problem does come, and it does come, let's face it, there's no such thing as a problem-free life. Right? I remember hearing one guy say the only problem-free life people that are living are the people that are in cemeteries right now. There's no such thing as a problem-free life. So you want to be able to enhance yourself, install great powers, in my book, U 2.0, I talk about claiming your power, the 5 power types of human potential. And if you want to, and we're actually going to have it on my website soon, the U 2.0 book, my second book that I wrote, free download on my website, and it provide a lot of the stuff I talk about in my podcast, but you can read it on your own time. And so what I'm saying is this: come up with your own ritual of loving yourself, whether it be exercise, whether it be meditation, whether it be contemplative prayer, reading a self-improvement book, a self-help book, going out with a buddy, going out for a walk and talking with each other, writing your goals down, journaling, whatever it might be for you. Do something in the morning. Make sure you start your morning not with opening up your phone and reacting to your iPhone, your Samsung Galaxy, or your computer. Immediately going to make your first commitment to yourself, loving yourself, enhancing yourself, empowering yourself. And what that will do is, once you get used to that, after 21 days, I promise you do that for 21 days, I promise you the new level of excitement and energy will begin to percolate through your body, operate through your body, operate through your mind with greater enhancement, greater focus. Your ability to solve problems will be enhanced. Your ability to communicate with greater words and greater precision will be enhanced. Everything will be enhanced. Just think of your brain as a computer. You want to update this computer, your brain. So make your first insert, your first upgrade, your ritual in the morning, and loving yourself.
So why does it matter? Like if I like, obviously I'm not in this place, but if I was in the place of, like, why would I even start? If I, like, sure, I know I could get better, but, like, I don't really care about myself. Like, I have no motivation to even start doing anything. I know I was given this life or whatever, but I just there's nothing in me that just, like, cares.
Well, I can tell you right now, having gone through what I've gone through the past 3 weeks, and going through life, losing, my wife's Nana, who I was close with. I never really knew my grandparents on my mother and father's side. 3 of them died before I was born. Another one on my mom's side died. I only met her twice, really. And Nana, my wife's Nana, was my Nana. She was like my biological Nana. And she exuded so much love and purity, and her smile was so beautiful. She was just an amazing human being, raising 7 children. She was awesome. And what I'm getting at is this: after having lost my Nana, lost my mom, what I have gained in compassion, in character, in my ability to be more self-aware and socially aware, and be more humble and understanding of people's behaviors, that doesn't come when things are easy. So one of the things I've learned through going through challenges, my own personal challenges, is that when you don't make it about you, and you go to making it about other people, because the purpose in life is, like, Albert Einstein was asked the one question: why was man brought here? Man being, generally speaking, human beings. And he had a great answer. He said, man was brought here for one reason, and that is for the sake of other men, other women, the children, the betterment of the world, to use your gifts, your skills, your talents to make the world better. And let me tell you something. Anytime I shifted from my own problems in life, whether it be depression or sadness, and I had no motivation, I immediately, I had this sort of trained myself to think in terms of, Who in life is going through something worse than I'm going through, and then go to work to serve them? And all of a sudden my problems don't necessarily go away, but my problems seem small. My how should I say, my energy enhances when I'm serving other people. And when I finally return back to my challenges, I'm at a higher level because I felt like I've made a difference in someone's life. Now, contribution may not be your biggest priority in life. So let me tell you this: when you love yourself, if you want to relate loving yourself to being a better employee, to making more money, let me tell you something. That 2-hour ritual in the morning that I do has made me more money. Okay, and just to give you an idea, it's doubled, tripled my income. Okay, I'm just letting you know that. But it's also doubled and tripled my income in terms of my relationships. It's doubled and tripled my income in terms of my emotional mastery. It's doubled and tripled my ability to make connections with the divine, with God, nature, with people. It's doubled and tripled my income in my ability to enjoy my leisure time. It's doubled and tripled my ability to learn skills with greater precision and speed. My musical abilities enhance. My ability to be at peace is enhanced. I mean, every area of your life is enhanced when you begin to love yourself. So if contribution isn't the biggest priority in life, it may not be your highest need or your biggest priority. But let me tell you something. Let's say your biggest priority is to succeed in life, to make as much money or become the CEO of a company. Let me tell you something. Loving yourself more in the morning and doing rituals. I remember one of my original mentors told me that. Said, Anthony, the most successful people in business, CEOs, chairmen, people that are entrepreneurs, they have some sort of they get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and they have some sort of morning ritual where they start their day with something powerful. And I took that really to heart. So if relationships is the most important to you, if you're a mother out there of 5 children or whatever it might be, loving yourself in the morning, the more you fill yourself up, the more you can then share your love as a mother to your children. Isn't that correct? So you can relate loving yourself to any goal in life or objective in life that you have, whether it be being a better mother, a better father, a better trainer, a better doctor, a better whatever role you're playing. So that is, I mean, we talked about know thyself is the first step to 9 steps to improve your relationships. Then all the other 9, all the steps, if you're not loving yourself, trust me, and as you're developing these skills, you are loving yourself, because guess what? You're expanding yourself. Know thyself, be thyself, love thyself. And let me tell you, it comes back to this. If you want to experience life at the highest levels and you are making life just about you, you will live in a very, very small world. Let me tell you that. Like if it's all about you and nobody else, as I said to you the last episode, I think it was the last episode, was suppose I gave you, a cell phone that was the highest technological cell phone on the planet, fastest, download speeds, internet, all the games, you can have all the stuff. This technology can give you everything, but the only stipulation would be you could never see your family again, never see your friends, never spend quality time with the loved ones. How much would that phone be worth to you? And it would be useless to you. So the idea of loving yourself and giving yourself the gift of quality time, of saying to yourself, I love you. And look, like I say to people sometimes, when's the last time you actually looked in the mirror and said to yourself, hey, I love you? Right? And you think, oh, that's an ego thing, right? No, it's not an ego thing. I'll look at myself in the mirror and go, you know what? I love you, man. Because the more I'm loving you, the more I can love my wife, the more I can love my kids, the more I can love the people on Instagram, the more people I can love on the internet, the better books. I mean, I wrote my latest book, Love Life, Let Go, and Live Free Now. I think it's the best work I've done so far, only because I feel like I'm doing it from a place of, okay, if you were my best friend, and how I wrote that book was, if you were my best friend and you came to me with a challenge, what would I say to you? What would be some of the best material I would give you? What metaphors, stories, insights, idioms, aphorisms, whatever I could give you to the gift if you were my best friend, not as because you were my client, because you were my best friend. What would I tell you? What would I say to you? What would I share to you? So that's very, 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 very important. Does that answer your question there, Cam? Yeah, no, it absolutely does. Like, so just to sort of top it all off. Yes. If I wake up in the morning, I look at the clock, I don't want to get up, I go back to sleep, and that's my existence, which it is for a lot of people. Like they wake up and they're just not ready for the day. They're not. Yes. Yeah. Like there's just so much pressure, or there's just absolutely no need to get up and live life to the fullest. So like, if I was in that place and
I didn't love myself, I didn't care about myself, what would be the first thing? And sort of like, if you have just a list of very like extremely tangible tools for people to implement, like 3 or 4 things that they could do right after the show that they can start getting into. Because I know you said love yourself is very important, or sorry, know yourself. Maybe that is the first step into loving yourself. Because if you get to know who you are now and you don't like it, like actually, then you'd know what not to be at that point. And then you'll start getting somewhere or something.
Okay. Well, I remember one of my clients who's a life coach and spiritual director. She said to this, every day it would be good to wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror as if you were a 5-year-old, 4 or 5 or 6-year-old child. Imagine you woke up and you saw yourself in the mirror and you saw yourself as a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old child. Now, would you beat this child down? Would you criticize this child? Or would you be empowered and motivated, encouraged to love this child, to care for this child? What would you tell this child about you, about life, about success, about happiness? Right? So if you wake up thinking in the morning that you're going to love this child in you, that you were once a child. I remember her even expanding into, imagine every person you met, you saw them as either a 100-year-old man or woman or an infant child. But all of a sudden that shifts your brain, because we were all infants at one time and we will all get old at one time and be a little bit more frail than we are now. And at the end of the day, when it comes to sort of strategies, that's one great strategy. Wake up as if you are a child and you're about to play this game of life with the childlike fullness that children play life at, and the happiness and the curiosity. That's part of loving yourself. I mean, even the Dalai Lama says, loving yourself is not a selfish thing. It's not an ego thing. And I'm paraphrasing him. He said something like, you can selflessly love yourself, meaning the more selfish you are in loving yourself, the greater you can actually help and serve other people. Jim Rohn had that great quote, will you take care of you to take care of me? I will take care of me to take care of you. My original mentor said this to me. He said, when you take care of number 1, you automatically take care of number 2. So those are little principles you can use. Now, in terms of strategies and tools, first step that I would recommend in the morning, it would be this. Get up in the morning, and when your alarm clock goes off, actually, let me back up for a second. The night you go to sleep, here's what I want you to do. I want you to start journaling. Take a piece of paper, write down 10 things that I'm absolutely grateful for. Just to write down 10 things. And then after you write down those 10 things and go, why am I grateful for those things? And just start writing it down. Right? And then end your day with gratitude and the reason why your life is abundant. And guess what? You'll go to sleep with gratitude and love marinating in your subconscious, and you'll wake up a little bit more fulfilled. You do that every single night, or repeat it, or read that over again. That's the first step. So at least you start your evening going into your sleep patterns with some sort of gratitude ritual or whatever it might be, something like that. I do that every night before I sleep. I go through like many things I'm grateful for, and I literally fall asleep to that. And then I wake up as my opportunity clock goes off, my alarm clock. I literally smile even before I open my eyes. Because remember, physiology is one of the ways through which we feel our emotions. So I smile. We have 88 muscles in our face. How are we using them? And what does it take? Like 80 muscles to frown, 14 muscles to smile. And then I literally smile and I say, thank you for another day, another opportunity to get up and move and experience life and to share my gifts with the world one more time. And then I get up, I move my physiology, I breathe. And then I go downstairs, I drink some water to really infuse my body with some energy, because 70% of our body's energy. And then I go to work with prayer and meditation. Even for you out there, I don't expect you guys to do that, but you would, just like working out, it will get, if you wanted to get in shape physically, right? How many people out there right now have tried or attempted to get in shape, and the first 2-3 weeks are brutal? In fact, there's a principle that says things will get harder before they get better. It is, because when you work out, oh my gosh, you're sore for the first 2 weeks, and then your brain goes, why are you doing this to yourself? This is hard. This hurts. I'm sore. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But once you get over that hump, that 2, 3, 4, I usually say 30 days, all of a sudden you start to see the results. You feel stronger. You have more energy. You start to lose a little bit of that body fat. Your posture improves. Your ability to walk up the stairs, you're not tired anymore. Your energy, your focus enhances. These are little things that are so the morning ritual is going to be tough for people that are out there that need like 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep. So this is going to be very tough. So maybe just start with 15 minutes in the morning, call it your love ritual, because I promise you, the person that you're listening to right now, that you're watching right now on this podcast, it wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be who I am today if it weren't for that 90 minutes, 2-hour ritual that I do every single morning, Monday to Friday, giving myself the gift of self-love, self-compassion, making the deposit into my own bank account so then I can ultimately share it with other people. And as I said, if loving yourself and you don't care so much about contribution, which was fine, and success and making money is more important than to you, then you can also relate that. The more I love myself, the more money I'm going to make at my career or my profession or sales or whatever it might be, or whatever you're doing in life. You can relate loving yourself to enhancing and empowering and expanding your life overall.
Okay, so that makes total sense. I would just preface it with, you have to sort of weigh both options. Like, what do you hate more, the self-loathing behavior or getting up early and doing what you just said? Like, you gotta really weigh those two things. It was a good episode overall, and it's been fun talking about relationships for 2 weeks.
Yeah. You know what? I can tell you right now, the person that's listening most to this podcast is me. Because my mentor used to tell me, Anthony, we teach that what we're teaching is that which we need to learn the most. And this is sort of reinforcing for me in my own life that the more I teach this stuff, the more it's sort of ingrained in me that I need to learn it too. And so just because I'm talking about it doesn't mean I'm the master of it by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm learning it too. Let's learn this. Let's walk this journey together. And if you like this episode, if you like the 9 steps to improving your relationships, we're going to continue each week with some new programs, new sequences on various topics. But if you want to share it, you want to subscribe, you want to like or comment on it, please send me some questions if you like, guys. I'd be more than happy to answer those questions and to give you the best of me in answering those questions. So to your continued upgrade and evolution, live it up with power, purpose, and passion. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks.